Hello and welcome back to Meet the Mobs. So, yes, I went and did some fancying up of the skeleton spawner of Jack the Skeleton, or Skeleton Jack, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it probably wasn't a good name. But whatever, I didn't totally have a plan of what I was going to do down here. But I think this works. It's not quite how I wanted it to turn out, but I think it works. I mean, like, I've used a bunch of different woods. I actually used the jungle wood up here just because I had whatever wood was on me, and I just decided to use it because I ran out of other types. I think it looks okay, and I do like the look of the jungle wood. I didn't have enough jungle wood to do this, so I did this out of normal oak wood, and it looks okay. It makes this more defined, I think. And the reason I did it like this, I haven't actually set it up so the skeletons, or you at least usually live, because I think some accidentally drowned somehow inside it all. I don't think we can avoid that. But I was originally going to have it where we have a piston which pulls the block down, and we can toggle that so that we can choose that they all die and we can collect their items. But I've realised we don't really need that, and it's just easier to do it this way and kill them and try to get them experience and items at the same time. So I put a hopper underneath and a chest there. I've worked out this is probably the most effective way of killing them and getting their experience without getting their items, because I think in other cases where I had like a full block here, I wasn't getting all the experience, but all the items were going down there. I think because the fact we're close enough to get the experience, but we're half a block up, or we've got this in a way, so we don't pick up the items. Some of the items go there, but I really don't think we need any, because we've got like a whole chest full already, and this is just from me when I was building it. Why is that missing there? Let's put that in. Oops. So yeah, this is, I think, the most effective way. Hitting them, so I've only left a half a block here, because sometimes, for some reason, they can shoot you when the bottom half of the block is open, but when it's just a half slab that's open, they never can hit you. So I think it's the most effective way, and I didn't mean to do that. As I said, I think it works, and it looks a bit strange, but it's the only way I could do it, and I wanted to make it symmetrical. So I haven't put anything in these. I think I'm just going to put bows and things. Unfortunately, these skeletons don't get armor. I'm not even sure if they get enchanted bows. I think they do get enchanted bows. I think we've seen that before. But I think it's because of the custom spawning with the names. But anyway, this episode I want to do, or at least this recording session, depending on how long it takes. It should just be this episode, I think. Or at least I want to start a new project. And the new project is going to take place over here. Now, I've mentioned before, there's been a few zombies and a few other mobs around here, and I haven't quite known why. I thought maybe because I didn't like the zombie spawner enough. I do actually want to get to a point where I also make a grinder out of that, but at the moment I have another project in mind. But I've realised where all the mobs were coming from. They've all been spawning on top of this, and I've had creepers and everything, but luckily nothing blew up. Let's just not jinx that. The village. I was wondering what was going on, but it was a villager. So I need to take this down or at least light up the top. But I'm going to take it down because I want to build something in here. Because if you haven't noticed, food has been. We have a good renewable source down here because we have infinite food from these mushrooms, but it takes up so much of the inventory because you can only have one food per slot, and you have to keep going back to the cows or the mushrooms, and it's a pain. So what I want to do is make somewhat of an automatic food farm. So my plan is I want to make pumpkin pies, and so I think I can do a bud detector, a block update detector, with pumpkins in there, as well as sugarcane, which automatically break. And I can also have a chicken pen, which will pick up all the eggs from the chickens. And then I should get all the ingredients automatically for the pumpkin pies, and then I can just craft it myself. And I think that'll work best. So let's get a shovel, and I'll dig this out, and maybe I'll just skip ahead through doing it. So yeah, I think I'll probably just skip ahead because there's no really need to see the digging out of the snow. And now, with the snowman decapitated, we can get to work. Well, I had lots of snow from the snowman, so I decided to make a little grave for his head at least. Put his head in a box. Basically, I just tried to copy out the face of a snowman. I didn't work too well because it didn't match up very much. I gave it a nose because I had some extra snow blocks. I just didn't know what to do with it, so I thought I'd do this so we can put a sign. Where should we put it on front? Rest in peace. Should we do the dots? Rest in peace. Snowman. I think that's what it was just called. It didn't have a name. It was just snowman. There we go. So yeah, I think what I want to do is make probably segment this into 3 different sections. Or let's tackle downfall. Yeah, it's just snowman because he said I must protect the world, be gone evil being, because I was breaking down the head. So what I want to do is probably have some sort of entrance with a few chests just here, and some setup behind where eggs will collect up, pumpkins and the sugar canes. So I'll probably go and collect some dirt from the chickens, because I know the chickens do have dirt in them, but I don't really need that dirt, because like I said, like I said before, dirt's a pretty rare resource in this world. So I think I'll go and do that and see if I can't plan something out. And I'm back. So I had a think, and with the pumpkin farm probably being the most complicated and difficult thing to do, I decided I would build that first and fill up as much space as I needed with that, and then I can work everything else around it. Because the sugarcane farms are usually quite easy to do and just not... They're generally quite straightforward. I think we can do with what resources we have. And for the eggs, we'll just basically put chickens on hoppers and we'll get eggs from that, so we should be fine in there. So I spent a while on a creative world thinking of what I can do for the pumpkin farm. Now I've seen a lot of automatic pumpkin farms before, or I've seen a couple, and I know there's quite a few different designs, but unfortunately we don't have comparators, which are kind of essential in more complicated redstone things and very useful for any timers or block update detectors, which I've mentioned before I was probably going to use. I had a mess around. I came up with something that we could do, but it's not going to be totally automatic, unfortunately. We're going to have to press a button. It will collect the pumpkins for us, but we'll have to press a button for it to collect it. I think that works fine. Basically, I'm going to use a minecart system, and the reason I'm doing this is because there's lots of other ways, but I wanted to minimize the amount of iron, because we have... I had to basically... What I was trying to do in making the new design, I've not seen this design before. I sort of came up with myself. I assume I've seen similar designs for similar things, but I assume someone else will have done this. I just haven't found it. I'm on a limit on how much iron I have. I don't have very much in this world. I don't think I'm gonna get too much more with how many slimes are left, and I don't have any comparators at all. And that was the basis of what I was going off to, trying to simplify it and use less resources. And now I used all my resources to get this, but we also we already had some tracks and rails. I also got the rest of the tracks from the large slime a couple of episodes ago. I went and back and got all of that. So I'm using some of that at least. That helped, and that was another reason for me using the minecart, because I thought, well, if we already have some of these resources, why not put them to use? And the only thing that I didn't have was the sticky pistons. Now I could make the pistons because I had plenty of iron and redstone, which I'm kind of low on now, but I think I'm okay for the most part. At least we're going to have food now, and we'll probably do some more exploring after this, because I don't think I have enough resources to do anything else. But I didn't have the slime balls, so basically I was just waiting for slimes to spawn in the slime chunk over there where the creeper is, and they've been spawning fairly regularly, and I actually got quite a lot of slime balls. I have like a bunch left over there, so if we want to make sticky pistons again, we can. So I want to briefly go over the design. I'm going to do it off camera because it is a little bit more complicated than just a basic redstone setup. What I'm going to have is there's only usually basically the reason why I didn't want to do the generic pumpkin farm is because it uses 2 sets of pistons, and now I clearly wasn't going to have enough iron and redstone and slime balls for that. I wanted to use 1 set. So what I'm going to do is have the pistons push up on the dirt which the pumpkins are on top of to uproot them, but then have a minecart basically go underneath and collect everything underneath them. I think I'll probably... It's better to show you once I've done it, so I'll probably at least start working on it and get back to you when I've got something to show off. Okay, so this is mostly finished now, but just before I close it all up, I wanted to show you what I've done here. Basically, we have a track here going along underneath the dirt, that goes all the way around just on this level, beside all of these pistons you can see here. So now what happens is, because the track next to all the pistons is detector rails, when the minecart goes, let me just build across here so you can see. So when the minecart goes across there, the detector rails, it sets off the piston, which push up the pumpkins which are growing here, which then I'm going to cover this up with glass so the pumpkins can still grow because of the light, but they will mostly end up in this spot because when the pistons push up here, these are sticky pistons, the dirt will be in the way, so most of the time the pumpkins are going to end up here. Now I've put water streams here just to make the pumpkins grow faster. Most of the time the pumpkins didn't end up in there, and if they did, it wasn't a problem because it was sort of still in the range. But anyway, that doesn't really matter if they do, because there are plenty of pumpkins that will end up in the cart. So a lot of pumpkins are just going to end up lying here on where the crops are. This is the whole point of this, to stop getting anywhere else. And so when the minecart goes, it'll push and uproot all the pumpkins, and when it comes back from the other side, it will pick them all up and then put them into the dispenser. So this is the point where I wanted to set up an automatic system where it would either have a timer, so the minecart would set off every certain amount of time or whatever, or what I actually wanted to do was do a block update detector with maybe like with the end pumpkin or something. So have have an update when have a redstone signal when it updates and a pumpkin appears, and then when that particular pumpkin appears, there's a good probability that a few other pumpkins will have already grown as well, and so that would be a good time to set off the minecart. Unfortunately, I can't do that without a comparator, or at least I can't do that without a comparator without messing the whole thing up, because otherwise it gets in the way and all the pumpkins end up in different places and don't end up in the minecart. So that's sort of the way I was doing it. So let me just show you on top as I fill it in with glass. I also had to use the bit of sand that I did have, and now we have the gap there. You can sort of see inside. I put a powered rail there just to push it along a little bit further, and I'll probably block up the end here too, and it just bounces back off the end because we have another power rail there. We have 6 and 6. The reason I chose 6 and 6 was because I was going to make 2 sets of detector rails, or detector rails, that's what they're called. Keep getting confused between detector and activator. And therefore I would have 12, and therefore that would just be enough for these 2 rows. But I actually ended up having some extra, which was from the rails that we already had. But that was just my reasoning for that, because I felt like this is a decent amount. 6 might not have been enough in case like maybe we didn't get them all, or they didn't all grow, so I thought this was a good amount. So I'm just going to fill all of this in. As I said, they do need light. I ran into that issue quite a few times when I was trying the few ideas out that I had, but this should work, so I'll get back to you once I've filled it all in and maybe it'll be working. Okay, I've not tried it out yet. I've filled it all in. I probably can make this look prettier, but it's all done. I've put the minecart with the hopper in. That's how it's collecting it, by the way. I haven't tried this yet, so let's see if it works. It's setting off all the pistons. Hopefully nothing breaks. We have the glass so we can see if everything's fine afterwards. Oh no, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? What did we do wrong? I see the pumpkins are uprooted and everything else is fine. Maybe I just had really bad luck, because I think there was only 2, maybe 3 pumpkins that had grown. Let me just check to see if... Yeah, none are in the hopper. Maybe if we set it off again to go and collect them. Usually they do get picked up, so I'm surprised that there is just one lying there, because it is in the exact place it should be picked up from. So it ended up out here. Okay. So this was another issue actually. You need to block off all the sides, even if they are blocks that you think it shouldn't be able to get through. It's probably going to be able to get through it. So that's probably I'm going to need to fill up. I need to get some more wood though. Yeah, so if you're building this yourself, you definitely want to just sort of give it an extra layer. If you let me check the chest first. No. Oh, we have 3. We picked them all up, I think. Oh no. Okay, maybe I'll just wait until more grow and do a proper test next time when more have grown than just like 3 of them. And I'll fill it all in and see if it works. Cross my fingers. So I think they've now all grown. So there should be 12, I think. Yeah, there's 6 there. And 6 there. So let's see how efficient this is. I filled it all in. I also decided I'm start working on making this look a little bit pretty. In my usual style. I might do a little bit more later on it, but let's just see if this works. Oh, we can't because I put the double chest in. Maybe I'll have to change that. Oh, we have this too. I'll probably put stairs there, maybe. Upside down and backwards. 6. So we got 6 out of. That's not good. Is it something to do with the back half not working? Oh no, we have. That's odd. There's quite a few just lying around where they should have been picked up. I'm kind of confused as to why that is. I know in my test world, like I said, it was working pretty much always, and this is almost exactly the same. Except, in fact, in the test world, it was. I think I sent the minecart across a little bit further, so the items had more time to. I need to break it again. Let's just check to see if 7. It's not much more. What the heck happened to all the ones that are right above it? See, why are those not getting taken down into the minecart? It's not accidentally getting powered somehow, is it? Because hoppers don't. I don't know. Let's try putting the button on this side and we can watch it. Or not. This sucks. Why is it not working? Let me go figure this out again. I don't know what's going on here. So, I have no idea what's causing it to go wrong, and I think I'm just going to put up with it. What they're doing is just glitching out. I don't know how else to put it. They're there, and they should be picked up by the minecart, but they just aren't. And I've seen quite a lot of them in a similar position, shaking and wobbling a bit as if like they're halfway through a block and they shouldn't be, and they don't know what to do. And because it's always on this side, or usually I've seen them on this side, it's when they don't get picked up. I'm thinking maybe it's something to do with the water block to the right, but this wasn't a problem on my test world. I don't know. My test world wasn't perfect. I tried it again and realised it wasn't quite as good as I first thought it was, or maybe it's just my computer's getting a lot of lag after me spending a while doing this. I hope that's the case, because initially it was working really well and I don't know why it changed all of a sudden. Maybe that was just luck. I was doing well at the start and I didn't. I started making it look a little bit nicer, but it didn't really do much. Let's see if we can get anything from these 2 that go off, hopefully. I extended it here a little bit, I think, and I also extended it at the end just to see. I was just trying to make it a little bit more like my test world one, because my test world one I had a bit more space, and I spaced it out a little bit more just so I could work on it easier. And no, we didn't get anything. Let's see what one came up here and these still haven't. Yeah. On average, we get about half of what's there, so that's not good at all. I don't really know why, but I think half is enough. It's a cool contraption, at least. It's better than having to go and harvest them yourself. But this actually took me longer than I thought it would. So I'm out of time for this episode, unfortunately. I did try a few other... now I'm thinking, should I try the other method that I did in my test world? But I don't think I'm going to have enough resources. The other one was the one I chose not to do because it was much more resource intensive. It did use water. It was a one row piston thing again, but it uses the I used the fact that water path finds to my advantage, so it went past all the let me go up here because it's a similar sort of thing to this, except the water sort of ran down on the dirt, but because I'd left a hole on this side, one lower than the block, the water path found its way across and down without touching these plants at all, so it didn't uproot the plants, and it carried the thingamajigs, the pumpkins. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna want to do all of that because that took a long time. I like this. If anything, it's not for use, it's just for fun. It's a Rube Goldberg machine. It was doing something over the top fancy because we didn't need them in the first place. We could have just broken them. I just wanted to try my redstone skills. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out. Maybe it's a lag. I hope it is. But anyway, next episode we'll be getting on to the chicken little thing, chicken pen. I think that's what we'll call it. It's not really a contraption. And the sugarcane contraption, that shouldn't take too long, so we can get to do some other things. We'll do some exploration too. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.